Welcome back to episode 15 of Booksmart Life Dumb, and this time it's Booksmart Life Dumb Nights, the nighttime edition, because it is 1:05 a.m. on May 22nd, so technically recording on a Friday. It's just that in about 9 hours, I am on my way to the airport, and I am out for the weekend. I'm going to Charlotte to go watch some NASCAR racing and go hang out with my pops for my birthday. I'm going to go watch some cars do some left-hand turns in rapid succession for a couple of hours at blistering paces. It's going to be fun, man. I tell you what, though, I am someone who enjoys sports. I would say my biggest sports I enjoy are going to be American football and baseball. Definitely I'm a big fan of those ones, but I will watch most any sport if live and in person. Basketball, hockey, NASCAR, just the whole lot of it. It's all very interesting to me, and it's all very fun to be in the moment around with the crowd and to watch this sort of thing. For me, though, it's just, I don't know, like NASCAR, like, I used to care like about specific drivers and stuff when I was younger, when I was first getting into the sport. My dad was getting me into it back then. I was a big Dale Jr. fan when he sported the number 8. But these days, I find myself able to enjoy auto sports just as a sport and just to enjoy the event as a whole. And NASCAR is a bit different than, like, for instance, like baseball or basketball, because when you watch baseball, basketball, you're watching two different teams go head to head. Whereas NASCAR, you're watching every participant in the event every weekend. It is every single participant in one event. It's cool, man. It's cool stuff. And also just, I don't know, the culture around it. And anytime that we've gotten to go out and be around people that are interested in it, or like just people who are tailgating, or I've gone camping actually a few times for NASCAR events. And just walking around and talking with all those folks, it's cool, man. It's cool because you get to see other people and all their different passions. It's a ton of fun, and honestly, I just get the most enjoyment out of being immersed into all of it with just everybody. You know, I think that's why I always enjoy conventions. It's very rare that I would attend a convention that doesn't like center itself around an interest that I have per se, but just being around a couple hundred people in a semi-small environment, you know, convention centers are huge, but just all locked together, and it's just a bunch of people who are on the same wavelength. It's just so cool to me, man. It's so cool. And even then, large sporting event, small sporting event, it's all the same thing. When I was traveling, working in music, we would go to a lot of single A minor league baseball games often. In smaller fields, smaller baseball fields, smaller crowds, but everybody's there to enjoy the same thing. Honestly, minor league baseball is almost more fun, I would say, than major league baseball. It feels like there's like less high stakes. It feels like a lot more people are there to have fun, but these people are playing their asses off because they want to get into the big leagues and prove themselves. And on top of that, you have these teams that are named like the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, and their logo is a piece of bacon. I have one of those hats from when I went there, and they're one of my favorite minor league teams. There's actually one out here in Ohio. They're the Akron Rubber Ducks. They are a minor league affiliate of the Cleveland Guardians, formerly known as the Cleveland Indians, and their whole thing is rubber ducks, and their merch is top tier. So good. And even then, the names seem to get even goofier because you also have the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, who are now rebranding themselves to the Lehigh Valley Squonk. And I'm looking at this logo, and it looks like the pig from the Iron Pigs, if it was now made of flesh and deep fried and crying for some reason. I'll link the Reddit link from r/baseball covering this. On June 6th, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs will rebrand to the Lehigh Valley Squonk. And I don't get it, man. And it's so funny. I'm looking at these comments too, just a brief look over. One says, what's the point of this? And the number one reply underneath it is minor league baseball. That's the point. And honestly, enough said. It gets silly and you can be silly. You can have some silliness with it. Sports is great, man. Sports in person, always better than sports on TV. Have your fandoms, but if you want to catch me fawning over the love of competitive sports, you're going to catch me doing it in person whenever I can. I need to make sure I get out to Progressive Field to watch a couple of Guardians games this season. Sucks because I've already missed the Rays and the Guardians playing up here in Cleveland because I used to live in Florida. So I was, a Rays fan because I was in the area. I was also a Washington Nationals fan because the Nationals used to do spring training not 15 minutes from where I lived. And I got to catch a couple of games out that way, and that was super fun. Now, as far as my travels for sports this coming weekend, it does look like it's going to be raining all weekend in Charlotte, which sucks for NASCAR because it is racing, and racing in the rain isn't really something that NASCAR does. So we'll have to see if it's a total rain out for the weekend or if it just is met with a bunch of delays or whatever. Over the weekend, they do several different kind of races as well. They do the truck race, they do the cup race, and a smattering of other things. You can go see qualifying and all that good jazz. But with me traveling this Friday, that means I'm recording this episode very, very early in the morning for you guys. And actually, I'm going to do my best to actually edit this on the fly so that while Patreon, you're getting your episode early, I can also, tonight before I sleep, get this episode scheduled for YouTube and Spotify because I won't be back home till after this episode is supposed to come out for all of y'all to listen on the other platforms on Monday morning. So no vocal warm-ups. My voice is definitely cracking. I'm definitely doing a lot of labored breathing, a lot of, I don't know, it's weird. When I go on tangents, I talk a lot. I find that I'm not breathing properly in the sense that I'm not breathing out enough. So it feels like I'm intaking a lot of air, but I'm not expelling as much air as I'm taking in, which leads to me feeling very short of breath because I have a lot of air that I'm keeping in me, and then I let it go, and I take my deep breath back in, but then this cycle continues. And I don't understand people who go up and they do long speeches or anything like that and talk for long periods of time. I don't know a lot of professions that do that. The only time I ever got to see that was one of my friends in role play. We were doing a court case in role play, and he delivered a 30-minute long closing argument. And it just felt like he just never even took a breath the whole time he was doing that. I even audibly said in character, hey, that's longer than one of the episodes of my podcast. That's insane. And he was just fucking going for it. At the time, I was doing a more roleplay focused podcast. I called it The Morning Meta. I would do it at like 8 a.m. on a Wednesday, and I would stream it, and then I would immediately post on YouTube. I would do very little editing. I would do as much editing as I could live. So all my audio and visual stuff was happening on the fly all at once. And I would just hit the record button, and as soon as I was done, I could just take it and upload it to YouTube and move on. I kind of wanted to start that up, but it felt like such a pigeonholed idea for a podcast that I don't know. I just couldn't do it. Or I guess I couldn't maintain it because I'd also bring on guests, and there was a lot of research that went into doing questions. There was an episode I recorded where there was no audio for whatever reason because all of my stuff was like backwards. Dude, it was so much, and it bummed me out so bad when it happened. It was a cool proof of concept. It had a lot of people who enjoyed it, but at the same time, it wasn't really something I could feasibly do. I don't even know if I could do that today because I don't know. It comes back to my eternal problem of I don't have enough hours in the day to do everything that I want to do. But who knows? Who knows? So with that said, though, live editing aside, recording early and all that jazz, episode's probably gonna be a little bit on the short side. Just because I've just been spending all week. Actually, it's been a really heavy week for me as far as mentally and physically at work. They've had me for a few later shifts lately. It's not supposed to be a regular thing, but I don't know. But I'm not going to count those chickens before they hatch, because after this weekend, I have a pretty normal week going forward. But then the week after that, being the first week of June, they've got me for 5 shifts back to back. Why is this cracking so much today? 5 shifts back to back. Starting at 7 p.m. going all the way to 3:30 a.m. Already let the Discord know that I'm going to be not streaming all those days. Just going to be MIA for that time. And it sucks because I'm also looking at going into subathon mode here, or some sort of goal-oriented mode here for as long as I can, because I want to move. I want to leave Ohio. I want to get on out, man. I want to just... I don't know. I don't want to leave Ohio because I'm sick of Ohio. I love it here. I love where I live here. I love the change of seasons here. It's something I've chased after and something I've aspired to come back to. But socially, I'm just not happy here, man. I'm just not a happy camper. I'm surrounded by family, and that's great. I love my family to death. As far as friends, as far as people and reasons to get out there and go do other stuff, it's just not happening. It's not happening here, you know? Sometime last year, I visited a friend who moved into a new place out in Texas. I fell in love with the place, man. And I fell in love with the company. I got to hang out with some mutual friends in the area. And I talked to my mom a little bit about this. I was recently at her house, not this past Friday, but no, it was last week. It was when I recorded episode 14. After I recorded episode 14, I got it posted and I went over to her house and got to use my smoker and hang out for the evening and made ribs. Very good. And we got to a small part of a conversation about it and talked about the cons, but she also talked to me about the pros of it all. And she talked to me about how, you know, she doesn't want to hold me back from happiness and what I think will make me happy. And she also understands it because we talked about this some episodes ago, but when I was 9 years old, me and my immediate household family, we moved from Ohio to Hawaii. That was her decision. That was her life taking us that way. You know, I'm not saying it like in any sort of like angry way, but that was where everything kind of like brought us as a family to. And so she said she couldn't hold it against me because she was the kid who moved away too. Her life would be unimaginably different if she never left. All of our lives would be unimaginably different if none of us went. I don't know what kind of person I would be today. I don't know what my likes and interests would be. I don't know if I would have had the life I've had up until this point if I didn't spend half of growing up not in my hometown, you know? And I've gotten to come back and I've been enjoying it and I still enjoy it. But at the same time, I want to chase happiness. And not for nothing, I just am tired of living alone. I think that's one thing. It's like I've always kind of like, not really put my foot down, but I've always just been of the mindset of like, I don't want roommates again. But at the same time, maybe I just haven't had the right roommates. The first time I moved out and had roommates was the worst time. I moved in with some buddies that I worked with at the House of Blues, and I moved in with them. And I found out that we are great coworkers. We're great tour mates, because I actually went on tour with one of them. We're great friends. Holy shit, did our living habits not match up at all? To the point to where for a while I could never look at them the same way. We've since like reconnected and rekindled that friendship. But just in the time that I lived there, I felt fucking miserable, dude. I wanted to die. It was a house that I was diagnosed with diabetes in. And it was a house full of people who, while I was going through a very rough time and quite literally my entire life changed what felt like overnight, I felt like I just wasn't being supported in. And I moved out and I was happy with my next set of roommates, but it was like what I do now, except instead of being in a 2-bedroom apartment, I was in 1 bedroom. And so I don't know. I've enjoyed the 3 years I've been in this apartment. I've enjoyed the 6 years I've been in Ohio. But a part of me just has to wonder and work towards being happy. And to realize that I don't think life is something that I really want to do alone. I don't want to do this by myself anymore. It doesn't mean I need a life partner. It means I need some friends, man. And I just want to be surrounded by the people who I've already made such strong friendships with over the last however many years. And the weekend I got to spend down there was great. It was a great time. I got to hang out with people that think like me, you know, not in the echo chamber kind of sense, but in the like be able to bounce off in conversation and ideas and talk about things, and not just talk about video games and not just talk about hyperfixated topics, but just to be able to carry a conversation on and talk about all of it. And not to mention, his dog just fucking loves me. And I love that dog. And I need to see that dog again. But yeah, man. That's what I'm looking at. I don't want to re-sign my lease. But it's like there's so many I don't knows. There's so many I don't knows in my life right now, especially surrounding that. I've moved across the country before. It's just that's a lot of money. So I gotta figure out, how to save the most money, how to make and save and put away the most money too. And also the logistics of it all. Boy, howdy, do I fucking hate the logistics of moving. It was so much easier when I had 1 bedroom too. So much easier when I only had a bedroom full of stuff, because the first time around when I moved, all I had was not even like a U-Haul box truck. I did 2 trips in a U-Haul Sprinter van. And that just moved my entire life with me. It was great. Then it was a box truck getting everything. Well, no. Okay. Here it is. My whole life, as far as moving goes. When I moved from Hawaii to my dad's in Florida, it was a large suitcase and a box of stuff. That was it. Suitcase, and then I shipped a box of stuff to me. Then from there, it was the bed of my dad's truck into my first house with my roommates. Then from there, it was a U-Haul van, and I did 2 trips in it. Then from there, it was one of those cross-country shipping containers, those personal like cube shipping containers. I used one of those. And then from my mom's here in Ohio to this apartment was a U-Haul box truck. And now I think if I were to do it again, it would have to be like a long bed box truck. And also I'd have to figure out how to get my car down there, which I know you could do like the trailer hitch and like tow it down. Or maybe I convince like somebody to go on a road trip with me. Man, I don't want to ship all my stuff. I don't want to do that. I do wish that I like won the lottery or something so I could just pay movers. Just put all my stuff in boxes here and then they do all the rest of it. And then I get to go down to Texas and then all my stuff's there. Well, I don't know what movers are doing when it comes to cross country stuff. Probably not that. At least somebody that packed a truck for me. Who freaking knows? I remember one time when I worked in cable, I went to an install and it was like out in the middle of nowhere, Florida. It was like in the woods. But that company, 2 dudes in a truck, 5 semis rolled up to this property while me and my little van showed up to come install the internet. And they were all just working and unloading and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a mansion out in the like Florida woods. It's pretty cool. It was pretty sick. But at the same time, God, that's a lot of money. I hope they plan to live there for a long time. But that's about it with me. That's what my weeks look like. And I got to talking to one of my regulars. I'm going to just call him Bill. Just to kind of keep his name. Just to keep his name anonymous here. But I was talking to him about that. He was like, oh, it's your birthday coming up. It was my dad's birthday. I was hanging out with my dad. He's an older guy, so I was kind of already taken back. I was like, holy shit, your dad's alive. He said, yeah, my dad told me something, and I think I'm going to pass it on to you. I said, what's that? He said, my dad told me, Billy, it is a bitch getting older. And you know what? For every time I've had to wear my knee brace at work, and how bad my ankles hurt, and how sore I've been, and how much exercise I've just been getting from going to my day job, I can agree. I appreciate you guys for sticking along and hanging out with me for 15 episodes of Book Smart Life Dumb. If you want to support this podcast, why don't you consider checking out patreon.com/bookdumb. You can check out all the different tiers and the rewards there. You get your episodes a little bit early as well, the day I actually record them. This episode comes out May 22nd. I'll see you guys all on May 25th on the Monday that this comes out, which is actually my birthday, May 25th. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll catch you guys next week. We'll get to chit-chatting about how the weekend went for me. We'll do a whole expose of everything that happened in Charlotte and all that good stuff. But until then, enjoy it. And maybe if you're a little bit behind on episodes, go ahead and go listen to one or something like that. Or don't. I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'll catch you guys later. All right. Bye-bye.